entitled Metaphor of Adam and Jesus. Peace be upon you. Greetings. This is Amir, Fatir, your brother in Smyrna, Delaware. By the holy name of Ra, life, health, and strength be unto him. I greet you in peace, het het. Our subject is entitled Metaphor of Adam and Jesus. The subatomic energy particles called prana and chi are symbolized as dust in the Bible and the Quran. The Quran says the metaphor of Jesus is like the metaphor of Adam. Allah created him from dust and said, be, and he became. The divine particles are ordered in a specific pattern called the Alt Neteru, or divine particles. It was also called the Tree of Life. Modern physicists have renamed it string theory. All life is created according to the 11-step pattern of the pulse. The reverse flow, that is to say from sphere or dimension 10 to dimension 0, is used in most systems to create a divine being or Asr woman or Asr man or a Mu'min, that is to say an Amen man or Amen woman. Mastering the science and living the laws of the tree is, quote, creating man from dust, end quote. In the Pulse of Anu, the paradigm or example of the divine man was called Atem, A-T-E-M. Atem became Adam, A-D-A-M, in the Middle Eastern books. The Adamic metaphor is given in Genesis chapter 2. Jah caused a mist to go up from the earth and then watered the ground. That refers to the steamed prana that is made to rise up from the earth chakra at the base of the spine until it reaches the brain and activates the pineal, hypothalamus, and pituitary glands, or Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu. Now, I want you to experience some of this yourself if you are new to these concepts. Slightly lean forward and locate with your hand the vertebrae that sticks out, which is lumbar 4. Now, sit up normally and just focus on that point for a few minutes. You will notice activity begin and soon a mist moving up your spine and causing a subtle vibration in your brain. That, my friend, is the mist that went up from the earth. If it doesn't happen the first time, do this several times for a few days, at least 5 minutes, and you'll begin to feel a tingling and a movement and a feeling of energy rising up. The mist then caused rainfall or glandular secretion that flowed throughout the body or watered the whole ground. Yah, or Jah, then formed man from the mud. Okay, this mud is a little tricky to explain, so I'll need your help. Since experience is the best teacher, way better than me, I ask you to experience some mud. The Quran says, surely we created man from a sounding clay, from black mud fashioned into shape. So the, quote, man, unquote, or divine mind incarnated, came from sounding clay, and the clay came from black mud. What is clay? You have 7 bodies, not just one. The densest is the gross physical body, called the Kab, K-H-A-B. The next is the molecular body or animal spirit called the Kaibit. The scripture calls this Kaibit clay, and not just clay, sounding clay. This subtle body is responsive to mantric and planetary sounds. Okay, Let's see if we can reach out and touch this clay. Have you seen pictures of Hindu gods with 4 or more arms? Well, you have a couple of extra ones too, called awareness hands. Check out Astrodynamics by Robert Bruce for the full procedure. Imagine you are reaching down and touching your own foot with one of your hands. Run your hands over your toes, soles, top of the foot, and sides. Now run it slowly up over your shins, your knees, your thighs. As you feel something, you are strengthening your awareness hand. Now return your awareness hand to your feet, and this time move it inside your foot, up your ankle, calf, knee, thigh. Bring it all the way to a place about an inch beneath your navel. That's your tanpian, in the scripture called a cauldron, or sometimes a stove, where the 3 Hebrew boys were in a fiery furnace, and Abraham was in a furnace. All these references to a furnace or a stove or a pot refer to the tanpian. Do this repeatedly. At first you will feel some resistance. The more you do it, the less resistance you will feel. That resistance you feel is the kaibit, the sounding clay. If you chant a mantra like Aum, you'll feel a vibration. Again, that's the subtle body or kaibit reacting to sound. The Quran says when they hear the name or mantra of Allah, they feel a tingling. Before the initiate can attain to Hama, or black mud, he has to master the kaibit, or animal spirit. The Egyptian scriptures say that animals were submissive to Atamu. The zodiacal particles are reflected in the kaibit. Thus Adam, quote, named the angels, end quote. That is to say, he identifies the zodiacal forces. Black mud is the source of all things. It is the ubiquitous dark matter from which stellar material derives. In Kemetic wisdom, it is the goddess Amanat, or Kali, or Sekert, the Black Mother. All of the Black Madonnas throughout Europe are derived from her. She is the Dark Mother, source of all sons, S-U-N. Jesus, Krishna, Haru, et al. So she is depicted nursing the baby, providing energetic sustenance to the sun. Yah then breathed into Adam the breath of life, and Adam became a living soul. Let me say a word or two about Yah. All of the names that people have associated with their gods originally derived from the black religious scientific wisdom. So in the Yoruba system, you have a goddess, named Oya. And Oya is the same as Oachet and Nekabet in the Kemetic. They're called the daughters of Ra. So this became Yah when it was transferred to the black Canaanites who taught and gave wisdom to the people we now call Hebrews. And so Oya, the goddess, became the male god Yah, or Yahweh, or Jehovah, or Jah. But even further back than him or her becoming Yah, she or he, depending upon your perspective, was the god of the Sumerians known as Ea. Ea, spelled E-A, but pronounced Ea, is the origin of Oya and of Yah, and Yahu, and Yahweh, and Jehovah. And that's why in some scriptures he is called a storm god. He's an energy god, a lightning god, because the Kundalini force, the energetic force, is analogous to lightning. So when you want to understand the scriptures that you know, you really have to go to the deep wisdom in the scriptures that you may not know. You have to study the Kemetic and the Yoruba and the Chinese. All of this originates originally from us. At some point I will teach you how even the Chinese Yi Jing is really an African wisdom system. It came from us. Everything came from us. Even some of the kings of Europe that people talk about, King Arthur and King James, many of these were black Kemetic Ethiopian kings. Most of your earliest popes were black men from Africa, where the term black pope came from. Now, I'm not saying this to say black people are better than everybody else and all that. All I'm saying is you got to evaluate things based upon the knowledge of what they really are and not based upon the propaganda that will make you a mental slave and disempower you so that you can serve someone else's interests. Okay? So, amongst my students are all races. I got Chinese, Pakistanis, Arabs, Europeans, Scandinavians, people, but they come and get, I'm not like Malcolm and them get all upset. Oh, I'm not white people, that's the whitest of whites. They ate out the same bowl with me. Shut up, Negro. Who gives a damn who ate out of a bowl with you, you Uncle Tom bootleg fool? I'm talking about people receiving the divine wisdom of God, and this will make them respond according to the highest part of their potential, not the lowest. But I will never, ever back up from the source of this great wisdom, which is the black nations of the world. I'm not trying to be nothing other than that, although I love everybody who wants to love the righteous way. All right, let's go forward. So it says that Yah breathed the breath into Adam. It was the breath of life, and Adam became a living soul. That refers to mastery of yogic breath science called Ruach in the Bible and Ruh in the Quran. Such breathing awakens your psychic faculties. So until that happens, you're not really a living soul or spiritually awake. Another way this is accomplished is called Shaktipat, where a master passes the divine Shakti to a student. This is encoded in the Bible as Elisha asking for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. Now, if you read my article, The Science of Color, I explain how the Shakti of Master Farad Muhammad, which is really the Shakti that began all the way back in the origin of existence, and it traveled up. Okay, it was passed on to Elijah Muhammad, whose name at the time was Elijah Kareem. He gave him the name Kareem for a reason, but he didn't understand why he was Kareem. He should have stayed Kareem, as he later on admitted. Kareem is the source echo of the third sphere of the tree of life, which represents divine omnipotence, divine power. It's the same that's encoded under Seker and in the Bible under Zechariah, as well as in the Quran. So this was the dimension to which Elijah Muhammad's power is.
You have 1 minute remaining.
So that was passed on from Elijah Muhammad through Louis Farrakhan in 1970 to me, your brother from the east, or the west, or the north, or the south, or wherever I'm at. All right, so let's go on. After you go through all of these procedures, and it takes decades, you become Tim, Atem, Atomus, Adam, and the very angels will bow down to you as the Anunnaki prostrated to Marduk when he received the 50 names and was renamed Atem, the completed one, or the complete one. We will continue this the next time. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Give you more of what you funked it for.